tonight on the first episode of the Tips and Strats presented by your host MythSky and my co-caster Kyoushi. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine, thank you.
So yeah, this is Kyoushi. You may know her from in-game. She is in the clan Astonish playing with the Dutch players, so she's quite familiar around here. Tell us a little bit more about yourself, Inge.
As you know, my in-game name is Kyoushi. My real name is Inga. I'm from Netherlands. And I would like to tell you guys that if you have any questions about the stream or whatever, please do say it in the chat and we'll try and answer them immediately. Or as soon as we can.
Okay, that's good to hear. Well, let's start off right away then. The first thing that we're gonna start off with is the video settings. So I'm gonna show you that in game right away. Let me go there. There we go. You should be able to see it. The first thing we go is to the options, so the settings. The first thing that we're covering is the video setting itself. I hear a lot of people like, what are your settings? Can I use them? Are they good? But to be honest, it's mostly of a personal preference. I mean, like the gamma, you have to play with it a bit. If it's too light, if it's too dark, play around with a little bit. 2.6 works best for me. Most of these settings all here are, well, you can try out with them, see if your PC can handle it. There's only one setting that actually stands out, and this is the shadow. The shadow has to be, well, it's usually on none, but you have to use it on use, and if your PC can handle it, you can use it on real time. This means you'll be able to see shadows, which will really help you out if like a person is about to come around the corner. You see the shadow, you have more time to react, you can even pre-fire, and that could mean the difference between a kill and a death. Moving on, and that would be the game settings. There are a few settings that are important here. A lot of people also ask about the crosshair. I'm using the middle one, although it doesn't really matter. I just like this one the most. For FPS, it's important to have the frame stabilization on. It gives you, well, at least for me, about 20 to 30 extra FPS, so that's quite a lot. So I would advise you to turn that on. And second, the second cam, which Inge refuses to turn on, which will actually help you out when you, like, well, as it says, if you get killed or kill an enemy, it shows you a small sign like where the enemy is still shooting at you, if he's reloading, and where he's actually going, so you can pass it on to your teammates so they know if the guy's pushing, falling back, or going to camp on a spot. So those are the settings that are mainly important. Well, for the rest, controls, audio, they're all set up custom by me, just what I really like. So we're moving on to the second part now. Inge will tell you something more about sensitivity and DPI.
Well, as one of the persons in the chat already noticed, your sense is 26, which is quite high. Sense is really a personal preference, really. But there's a few things to notice about it. Like if you have a very low sense and low DPI, then when you're shooting as a rifleman and you're controlling your mouse, when you move it around, you tend to move less of your target than you do when you have high sensitivity. So if you have high sensitivity, you'll most likely miss as a rifle. Then again, as a sniper, you may want to make some drag shots and such. And in that case, if you have a really low sensitivity, it might be hard to move your mouse really fast because you'd have to pass a really long distance with your mouse. So in that case, it might be nicer to have actually a high sense for a sniper. But in the end, it's your own preference that really stands out. You have to try in-game just what you think is best.
Alright, so you already told the streamers I'm playing with 26 sensitivity. At how much sensitivity do you play?
Right now I'm playing at 9 sensitivity and I have a DPI of 1200. So that's quite high in comparison to people that play rifle a lot, because I'm a main sniper.
Okay. Then we're moving on to the next point, which will be the sound settings. I'll put it in lobby mode so I can actually show you. It's mostly about the equalizer settings. So let me go there right away. Hope you'll be able to see it. my desktop wants to appear. Well, for the most people, it is the easiest part to do the, well, for the most people, it's actually the Realtek HD audio configuration. That's like the standard sound card. So if I search for that, the HD audio configuration, you have like a few setups. Well, it's in Dutch, so I hope you'll be able to understand it. This is the most important one, the settings, equalization of volume. You need to turn that on, so, well, in English it's the loudness equalization. If you turn it on, you have like a vibrating noise, so you can hear more noise, which is quite important if you want to hear some more. And second, the equalizer itself. The equalizer settings are displayed here. They are customly made for FPS. As far as I can remember, is -6, -4, 2, 5, 6, 5, 10, 10, 10, and 10. I'll provide a link in the chat right away to show you all. Let me see, I have it right here. Let me check if I have to write one. Yes, there it is. Oh, indeed, my arrow is bugging out. That's because I'm switching to my desktop. It's not anything to worry about. So that's basically all for the sound settings. If you have them set up to FPS equalizers, it does give you somewhat better sound, which will help you, in this case, in hearing footsteps, so you know where the player is actually going. Alright, so that's it for the sound settings. We'll move on. Ew, that's the wrong thing. I hope. No, it's not. My bad. So moving on to this next part, which will be the overall tactics, which will be discussed by Inge. She's already invited me to the game.
So we
not yet, not yet. I'm not ready.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You're very fast. Alright, so what are you gonna explain everyone with the overall tactics?
Well, in following episodes we'll actually explain how to have certain strats on certain maps, but there's also always a few general rules to apply in when defending or attacking, or just in general when playing the game. These especially apply to demolition maps. Can I start the room, or are you not ready
you
yet?
can start. I'm ready.
Okay. Yes, so there's a few things. The most important thing is having good callouts. So to have good callouts, first of all, you need to be on a voice chat program such as TeamSpeak, Ventrilo, Mumble, RaidCall, and such. It's always nice to play with a few friends or just people that you can get along with. It's always a good thing to make sure that these callers are correct. Like, if you say they're low, how low are they? Can you actually pistol them? Are they actually 1 HP or are they 20 HP? Which you may not be able to kill them when you pistol them. So you have to make sure that these callers are accurate. If someone is going to a spot and they say everyone's here, and actually there's only 3 people and 2 other people might be going behind, your whole team may rotate, and thus the other 2 people could go behind your team and then screw you over, basically. Another general thing is the buddy system. Like, when you have 2 people go run together, and make sure that their backs are covered always. So you could cover a spot, like one could sit here in tunnel, for example, looking from here, and the other one could crossfire over here, so there's no way they could actually get past. There's a few other spots on maps such as this. They always tend to do it when rushing, so if you rush to one spot, and you just go somewhere, and one person could shoot someone, but this person might die easily and uselessly. So if a buddy was here, they could both shoot him, and they would probably kill him far easier. And if he didn't kill him in the instant, then the second person could go and kill him. So the death wouldn't be in vain.
So it's like important to have crossfire and always have each other's back, so you can back each other up and don't really bait, and back up the other player so that he doesn't die. You'll stay alive with more people and are easier to take down the enemy.
Yeah. There's also a few things to keep in mind when on the attack side, which is the side we are on right now. You shouldn't push a side with 5 people. Because you can only do that when you have like 3-point men reaching a spot and taking it really quickly before they even get in place. But otherwise, it's really useless to do that. Seeing as if you have a slow push, then the enemy might come up behind you, and if even though you're covered back, then you're basically stuck in a spot and you can't really rotate or do anything else. So when attacking such as that, it's also smart to not have more than one sniper, because it's really hard to push as a sniper. And it's easier to do that with rifles and point men, and they're also more mobile while rotating. So you could probably take 3 rifle or point men or a sniper to do 2 in this case, and then have 1 or 2 go to mid. It's you shouldn't spread too far. You just always have 3 in one spot. There's also a few things to keep in mind when defending. It's really important to play as a team, not only the buddy system, but also the callouts. When, as I mentioned earlier, if you do a callout wrong and you say like there's 5 people there when there's not, then when you rotate, then you're all here, and then basically the enemy could re-rotate and go to the other spot, which would mean them claiming the spot and you having to retake it, which is sometimes could be a lot harder than intended. So a really important thing is to not over-rotate. If you have 2 people at 2 and 2 people at 1, and you think it's going to be 2, one person can go to from 1 to 2, but you shouldn't both go to 2, because that will be over-rotating and they could easily take spot 1. I think that was about it for general tactics. Do you have anything to add, Jeremy?
Well, indeed, for the over-rotating part, if you like defending inside 2, like you're defending here on either this spot, you may be defending here, looking through the barrels, that should be here, maybe looking up, maybe watching base. But if you have 2 people, well, 4 people in total, 2 on 1, 2 on 2, so here, then it's indeed important not to over-rotate, because if you leave the spot clear and the other team is indeed rotating, the spot is clear and you have to retake it with a lot of people, and if they have 3 or 4 people on spot, well, good luck on retaking that. It's not going to be easy, and it could easily mean a loss of the round. So that would be it for the overall tactics. Are there any things that we may not have covered, do you think?
I think that was most of it.
Alright, then we'll go
like
back.
Most of the other things are map specific, so we can't really explain them because they're not general things.
Indeed, they're more map specific, and we will go into that next week and the following weeks with the map that will be chosen. We'll also tell you which map there will be next week because of the voting. Hopefully you already saw a link to the voting, otherwise I'll post that in a minute. But first we're going on to the aim training, which I'll show you in a matter of 3 rounds. In the meantime, Inge will be in the chat. There you go, the voting for the map. You can still do it. If you didn't vote yet, you can still vote and maybe even turn around the map that will be chosen next week. For the people, I'm declining buddy requests because my buddy is like full. So in the meantime, Inge will be in the chat covering your questions, giving answers to them, and if there's like anything important or specific to notify me about, she'll also ask me about it and tell me, so we cover it on the stream so everyone knows. So I'm gonna do some aim training. Most people like do it in co-op, or they play like a cold case, but how I learned it was from AI demos, so I'm just gonna show you how I did that. I'll do it in a matter of 3 rounds so it won't get too boring. I'll play 3 rounds. I'll play 1 with Para, I'll play 1 with the M14 DMR, and I'll do 1 scoping round to see what you can actually achieve with learning about this aim. It's most important indeed for the aim training to do 1 shot only, so you learn how to aim at headshot height. So I'll just alter the sights. I'll go to 1 first, after this I'll go to 2, and then I'll go back to 1. So with Para it's important, as most people know, to not move shot but do it with shift. and just do one tapping. That's all needed. And with the sound, of course, we explained you earlier on, you'll be able to hear the enemies. That was a bit bad. So it's good to play one-shots with the para and sometimes do a pistol in between.
Everyone in chat, the raffle wasn't actually open yet. My apologies for this. So everyone that typed raffle before has to type it again to join the raffle.
We'll do it in the end of the stream once we're done with the in-game events, which we'll also cover later on. Have to watch out I don't die. Oh my god, yeah, I knew that was gonna happen. So yeah, for the people who don't know me, I'm not a para player, I'm really bad with it, and I feel so bad that I actually died. Am I bad? People are already busy with the raffle again. As I said, it doesn't matter, we'll do the giveaways later on. One die again. Since it'll be taking a little longer, I will show you which gun we'll be having for the giveaway later on. I'll do that in the last round. So after this, I'll just do a fast scope-in round. But it's just important to aim for that and do one taps. Just at the moment I say that I fail. And last guy's on spot. So yeah, I'm not a fan of high recoil weapons since my sensitivity, as most of you know, is fairly high. This is just a little mouse moving for me. So just do a fast scoping round and then I'll show you which gun will be given away later on. Still a guy inner of me. Either. So yeah, with scoping it's just important to be a little fast. Try to pre-fire now and then. And if you no scope, always duck and aim. So duck. Alright, so now for the gun for this week. This will be the MP7A1 Talisman. You may have heard about it. It came around with the new update. I'll show you around how it works. We just did some tests on it and it actually has 34 damage, which is fairly high compared to the normal MP7, which is 27. The recoil's very little with this gun. And this is of course the S&W Witch, you may have seen it. It's quite a decent gun with the scope in, but yeah, I'm not too fond of it. And now we're almost done with the aim training, but of course the rounds that were most important were the first two with the one tapping. this will help you out with those headshot aim. So you'll be able to spray and shoot quite some headshots, although that last one was quite bad. Alright, so that was it. So we covered most of the in-game things, most of the general things that are important to play, well, to at least get better on AVA, and maybe also play some competitive scene, like for the ESL. Most people know me from that.